Hey yo, what's up my little coders? Let me show you in this tutorial how to solve the Leetcode question 283. Move zeros. Basically in this question they just give us the integer array and we need to take this integer array and move all the non-zero values to the left side of the array and move all the zeros to the right side. And also we need to maintain the same order of non-zero elements, the same order as they appear like in the input array. This is like the rearrangement of the array which we need to implement. And there are two notes. First one is, we must do this in place without making a copy of the array, and the second one, minimize the total number of operations. I just would simplify this to notes as just like, you need to write the efficient code. This is basically what it means. How to write the efficient code? Let me show you guys. Let me just quickly write it and I will go with you through it in a few seconds. Okay guys, so what do we have here basically? We define two variables. The first one is the non-zero index. Basically all the non-zero values will appear like on the left side of the array, right? So, and the first non-zero value which we will see should go on the index 0. Initially it's equal to 0, and then after that, like when we will iterate through the whole array, and when we will see like the first non-zero value, we will put this value on the right index. So initially it will be 0, but after that, once we will put like the first non-zero value, in the end we will update the non-zero index, we will increment it by 1. We will like keep track like at what index like should each non-zero value basically go. And also a second variable called temp, so to store a temporary variable to just basically perform a swap. Okay, then again we will iterate, as I just said, like we will check for the non-zero values. If there's like a non-zero value, basically we store in the temporary variable the current value at the non-zero index. So initially it will be like the first element. Then we will take the current non-zero value at index I. We will put this value onto the right index, so at the non-zero index. We will update it. The non-zero value will go to the left side, and then we will update the current value with the temporary variable. And you might ask me, okay, shouldn't it be just 0? Why do we need to store it as a temporary variable? Why do we need to do it in this way? Imagine this scenario where, for example, the non-zero index will be the same as the I variable. If we would say like in the beginning of the array, like the first value would be 1, not 0, then if we would perform like, if we would have like the 0 here, first of all we will update this value, but after that we will say that okay, it's now equal to 0, and which will be incorrect. That's why we definitely want to have the temporary variable to update it properly. And after that we just basically increment our non-zero index. This is how it works. Okay, let's just consider like this example again, and just let's go through the code like step by step to see how this program will perform exactly. This is our input array, right? And initially the I is equal to 0, and also the non-zero index is also equal to 0. We are in the first iteration. When I is equal to 0, the value at this index is not equal to 0, so we will not go inside the if statement. That's why we will just go on the next iteration of the for loop. Then on the next iteration, the I will be equal to 1 right now. Non-zero index still stays as 0 because we didn't update it on the previous iteration. But okay, this value at index I is not equal to 0. That's why we will go inside the if statement. Then we will store, then temporary will store like the value at non-zero index, which is like the first value, which is equal to 0. And also will update basically the value at the non-zero index at index 0. Basically we will do a swap. One will go to the beginning of the array. Here we will have 0, and then in the end we will update the non-zero index. It will be equal to 1, so that on the next iteration we will know like at what index we should locate the next non-zero value. Okay, now we are going on the next iteration of the for loop. I is equal to 2 right now. This thing stayed the same for now. Okay, this is the current value at index I is equal to 0, so we will not go inside the if statement. Okay, next iteration of the for loop, I is equal to 3. Okay, perfect is the non-zero value. Our temporary will store the value at non-zero index, which is like this value 0, cool. Then we will perform a swap. 3 will go to the non-zero index, 3 will go here. Here we'll put a 0. Cool, we'll increment the non-zero index, we'll go on the next iteration of the for loop. I is equal to 4. So non-zero value, again, we'll go inside the if statement. Temp will be the value at non-zero index, so non-zero index is equal to 2. It's basically 0. Temp is 0 right now. And then we'll perform a swap. 12 will go on the non-zero index, which is 2. 12 goes here. We update it, we put 0 here, because temp is equal to 0. And basically, in the end, we have the proper output array, same as in the example. This is how it works, guys. Let me just run the code now. Perfect, let me submit, guys. Perfect, guys, 100%, 0 milliseconds runtime. I hope it was clear. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe, guys, in order to support my channel. Challenge your friends to see if they can solve this question or not. And guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care and good luck.